Esse é o
GringoCast.
GringoCast. GringoCast. Esse podcast é ideal para você que quer aprender português ou para você que quer apenas praticar o idioma e aprender mais sobre a nossa cultura. Aqui, vamos falar sobre a língua e a cultura brasileiras e vários aspectos delas. Vamos ter conversas bem interessantes com estrangeiros que moram no Brasil, estrangeiros que querem morar no Brasil e também brasileiros. Se você tem alguma sugestão de tópico ou quer entrar em contato com a gente, você pode usar o nosso perfil do Instagram ou o nosso canal do YouTube. Durante o programa, vamos ler perguntas dos nossos seguidores. Então, o que você está esperando? Entre em contato com a gente. No episódio de hoje, a gente vai falar com o John, um americano que tem um canal no YouTube no qual ele cozinha e fala português. O nível de português do John ainda não é tão alto. Por isso, vamos falar um pouco de português e um pouco de inglês nesse episódio. Então, John, você pode falar um pouco sobre o seu canal do YouTube?
Sim. Oi, gente. Meu nome é John. Eu sou americano. Eu moro em Connecticut, perto de Nova York. Eu amo cozinhar. Eu estou aprendendo português. Então, eu estou combinando juntos no canal do YouTube. Eu tenho perfil no Instagram. Eu cozinho lá.
That's all right, don't worry.
E falo português.
Muito bem. Então, e me diz uma coisa. Há quanto tempo você começou a fazer vídeos?
Eu estou fazendo vídeos por um mês ou dois meses.
Então, é um canal bastante novo, né?
Sim, novo.
Perfeito. E de onde veio essa paixão por cozinhar?
Pode repetir?
Sim. De onde veio a sua paixão por cozinhar?
Eu costumava chefe. Eu sou programador agora, mas eu costumava.
Programador como de sistemas, de aplicações?
Aplicações.
Muito bom. Bom, então temos isso em comum. We have this in common.
Oh, nice.
Sim.
Legal.
Muito bem. Então, você costumava ser chefe e trabalhava num restaurante ou num hotel?
Sim, restaurante em Nova York, em Connecticut, em Texas também. Mas eu fazer pão, I always forget the name. Padaria?
Padaria.
Padaria, yeah. Também.
Cool.
Mas agora não.
Muito bem. E de onde veio a ideia de fazer um canal no YouTube?
Minha namorada começou o perfil no Instagram e fazer vídeos aqui. Then it grew and grew. Sorry, I'm going to switch to
Cresceu,
English.
it's okay, it's all right.
Yeah, then it grew a bit. And yeah, so we started making just videos, just kind of silly videos, like in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then it grew, and we started actually like setting up cameras and things like that. And I mean, it's still very small. It's only been a couple
Yeah, I
months,
mean, sure, but
but
it's pretty cool.
yeah, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been a really great way to practice for
And
sure.
it is. I was gonna say exactly that because you make videos in Portuguese. Is there a reason for that, or?
Yeah, so I mean, I have been learning for a year, um, maybe yeah, a little longer than a year, but it's kind of been on and off. I sort of try different methods and then go on to another method. But I found like, you know, I can read things,
Mhm.
um, and maybe I can write something, but speaking is very difficult and conversation is very difficult. And then I was trying to figure out a way to do it with something I like, which is cooking.
Yeah.
And it also gives me one area to focus in and learn a bunch of vocabulary. But it forces me to speak, like, you know, every time there's a video or on Instagram or an
Mhm.
Instagram story, it definitely, I've learned a lot just in a short time because I have to actually speak out loud, know how to pronounce things the right way. And that's helped me quite a bit.
Yeah, right. It does help a lot. And if you guys haven't checked his channel out, it's called Cozinha Gringo. Am I right? Did I pronounce it right?
Yep, that's right.
Yes. Yeah, he makes those cooking videos and he speaks Portuguese only, right? Or do you speak English as well?
Only Portuguese, yeah.
Cool. Very good. You speak only Portuguese with your girlfriend or do you speak English as well? How's it going with the
we
language thing?
speak we speak English. She's fluent in English, so
Mhm.
it's been easy
All
for me
right. Yeah.
because I can speak English. But definitely when we're making videos, we try to speak Portuguese, and she'll walk through things with me and make sure I'm pronouncing it right. And you know, you get to see the final product, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like trying repeating things like, okay, how do I say this again?
So I think there's a lot of editing, am I right?
Sometimes there'll be a couple takes, but actually I've been getting a lot better, so
Yeah,
it's
sure.
been good, encouraging.
Yeah, no, it's practice definitely.
Yeah.
And so she's always behind the cameras helping you out with pronunciation and this kind of stuff.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Definitely.
Cool, cool. Very good. And about Brazil. So you chose Brazilian Portuguese obviously because of her, but do you have any plans on coming to Brazil or something like that?
Yeah, I'd love to. I've never. I don't have any immediate plans or anything, but I really would love to in the future. I definitely, and I think that would also be very good motivation
Absolutely.
to really improve my Portuguese.
Yeah, sure, definitely. And if we talk about your level, so where do you consider yourself right now? Do you consider yourself a beginner or intermediate?
I still think I'm a beginner just because of conversation is very difficult for me. Maybe reading, I'm a little more intermediate, but I think conversation, I can get through like the basics, and then I'm lost, or someone has to speak very slowly. So that's something I'm trying to improve a lot. But that's definitely, I mean, Portuguese is very difficult to pronounce for English speakers. I found. I mean, maybe it's just me. I'm sure there's a lot harder languages out there, but I think it's difficult to pronounce and difficult sometimes to understand because the words can kind of blend together. But it just takes practice, really, and I'm progressing slowly but surely.
Yeah, sure. I mean, 1% is better than nothing, right?
Yeah,
And yeah, I
exactly.
feel like Portuguese, especially for Americans, like you said, is tough, especially the those sounds, in the R. So
Hmm.
yeah, we have those like something we call the soft R in Portuguese, which is like an H in a way,
Yeah,
but it's hard for Americans to pronounce. I've had some students in the past, and they all have the same issues, and we have to drill those pronunciation stuff like over and over again.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
definitely.
sure. But I mean, of course, it's part of the process. First, you learn how to read, first you're able to understand, and then you finally learn how to speak. And then you get fluent in the language.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do you have any plan on learning Portuguese, or it's just you just do it because you like it? I mean, do you actually have plans like studying and I know maybe taking a course or using different material?
Yeah, I mean, I've been studying, on and off for a year. I've used various things. My goal is to become at least conversational in Portuguese. I'd love to become completely fluent. I think that'll definitely be over time. So, but the first goal is to be able to talk about most things, and have a conversation with someone,
Yeah.
like fully.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I've used various books. I've done like actual lessons on italki. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Yeah.
And all sorts of online resources. I've tried different apps. I've tried like flashcards. Uh, and but I think the one thing that's actually really I'm focusing more on now is like I mean I joined a WhatsApp group. There's a Hello Talk app where I found some language partners, language exchange partners. Doing it more in like a conversational method, and then obviously with the videos and the Instagram account, I'm more talking, speaking, everyday terms, and not just like the dog ran down the street or some random thing that has no context. It actually forces me to talk about like real life situations.
Yeah, just throwing shit at Duolingo right there, aren't you?
Yeah, the cat. It's always the cat in Duolingo. The cat did something.
I was trying to learn French back in the day, and the only thing I learned was like to say something like that the cat eats the orange or some stupid thing like that.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it doesn't make much sense. So as a beginner YouTube, this question runs from my mind quite often, and so I want to ask you the same questions to see if we're on the same page. What's gonna happen if your channel does blow up on YouTube? Do you have any plans on becoming a full-time YouTuber or not? It's just a hobby for you.
Right now, it's just a hobby for sure. I mean, if it got really big, that would be great. Definitely, it's very small right now. Like just started, so just getting going, and people have been really cool and supportive, especially on Instagram. There's a lot of interaction there, and people really you're like, oh, you speak well, and no, I don't, but thank you. And Brazilians are, I mean, so friendly, and so supportive of any Gringo learning Portuguese. They're very supportive of, so it's been really nice.
Cool. I feel like anytime we hear anyone from another country speaking Portuguese, we just get super proud of them, and we get supportive, like, yeah, hooray, you can do it, this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty common. Yeah, pretty good. So I know that in America, Spanish is a very popular language. So have you had any Spanish lessons, or do you speak Spanish in a way?
I mean, in high school, we all learn it, quote unquote, but it's you kind of just do what you can to pass the tests and that kind of thing. There's very little speaking and stuff like that. So, you learn like "Donde está la tarea?" Where's your homework? Stuff like that, like a few key phrases. And then in kitchens, I had a little bit because there's a lot of Spanish-speaking workers in kitchens, and so I knew like maybe a few more things. But honestly, like once I started learning Portuguese, I had to forget it all because it's so like certain words are so similar that I would always say the Spanish version rather than the Portuguese pronunciation. And that definitely in the beginning that was difficult to like remove that part of my brain, and even though it's like a little bit, it's still there, and you want to say it in the Spanish pronunciations, even like the O's at the end of words and the different vowels, they can be very different.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that because is it possible to just like forget, delete that part of your brain that knows Spanish completely? Because I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's like possible to completely. I still trip up on a lot of things, but it's definitely. I also like learned a little Italian too. Not that I like was able to like speak it or anything, but a few phrases from like a study abroad thing there, and that part too was hard. I mean, well, the Latin languages have a lot of overlap, so there's some of it there. Yeah, I don't think it's possible to completely forget it, but I think when you get in the habit of more and more Portuguese, it tends to override everything.
Yeah, right. It does indeed. Do you have any? Speaking of like languages, do you plan in the future to learn any other languages besides Portuguese?
I'd love to learn Italian. I mean, I'd love to learn Spanish too. But Portuguese, I think will keep me busy for a while.
Yeah, sure it does. Do you think it's gonna take a couple years for you to like master Portuguese in a conversational way, or?
I think it would take. I would say my goal would be maybe another year to be fully conversational. And I think with practice, like a set time each day, I think that's definitely attainable, especially if I'm getting a lot of speaking and conversation practice.
Sure, absolutely.
But yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to stick to one thing, like one method, because there's like so many different ways people say they learned, and you're not sure, like, should I be doing this method or this method or this method? But I've kind of been finding what works for me and just doing that, and like ignoring all the like blog articles saying like this is how you should learn or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's no recipe. It's different from person to person. So some people learn more with pictures, like flashcards or something like that. People learn
Mm-hmm.
with music, but I think, in my opinion, the best method is a conversational method. Where
Yeah,
actually, yeah, it's called a communicative method, and you actually learn the language through dialogues and through daily life situations.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think conversation is the hardest part. You could you could pass all sorts of tests in Portuguese and write, but then when you actually are in front of someone, are you able to speak it? That might not
Yeah.
be the case.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Many people in Brazil actually, they think they know English, but whenever they come across a native speaker, I know someone from America, let's say England, they just freeze. So yeah, it's kind of complicated to actually speak with someone who knows the language. It's completely
Yeah,
different.
yeah, exactly.
Sure. Yeah, I forgot to say that, especially if you have a Portuguese speaking girlfriend. What's her name again?
Anna.
Anna, I'm talking to
Yeah.
you now. Speak Portuguese with him, because this way he's going to learn much, much faster. Yeah.
Nice tip.
Okay. Do you have any tips that you can give to people who are trying to learn Portuguese now? Some North maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you as much as many tips as I can with my experience. I think, like, honestly, you just have to find what works for you. But definitely, the earlier you get speaking, the better. I definitely wish I spoke more when I started, even though it's all wrong, and you're going to be wrong all the time. That's another thing that's hard to swallow at first. Is like, you're going to be correct. You're going to open your mouth and you're going to get a correction, and that's fine. That's
It's
just the way it's going to be.
it's part of the process, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Sure, pretty good. So just speak as much as you can.
pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah, sure. That's it. Yeah, I
yeah,
I can stand behind that. So right now I have some questions I'm gonna ask you, and you can just give me an answer as short as you can with as few words as you can. Living in Brazil or living in the US?
Well, I've never been to Brazil, but I'd love to visit Brazil. I don't know if I'd love to live there full time. I mean, obviously I have a family and everything here, so I'd probably say living in the US because of that, but I definitely want to spend some time in Brazil.
Yeah, are you an adventurous person? I mean, do you like traveling?
Yes, I love to travel.
Yeah, sure. So Brazil is gonna be, yeah, definitely a great place for you to be. Uh, since you're a cook, I have to say, I'm sorry, a chef, not a cook. What's your favorite Brazilian food?
Oh, cochinos. They're amazing. They're so addicting.
Yeah, because they're just the perfect mix of like dough and chicken. It's not like those what you call them, those cheese balls. They're oily and stuff. But coxinhas are like drier, so it's easier to
Yeah,
swallow. Yeah,
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
definitely.
My girlfriend's grandma came here to visit last year, and she made them. Just like trays of them were coming out, of course, and I just kept eating them. And then she says, "Oh, okay, bring some home to your parents." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." And they're in a box. It's just sitting on my front seat driving home, and I just ate. Like kept eating them, and by the time I got home, there were none left. And I was like, I felt bad. I was like, oh my god, they're so addicting.
Or it's supposed to be for your parents, but hey, things
Yeah,
changed, right?
yeah. I was like, they didn't send me back with anything. I don't know.
Right, right. Yeah. What about your favorite Brazilian dessert? Have you tried some of them?
Yeah, I mean, I love brigadeiros.
Yeah, that's the number
Really
one.
amazing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Or the cakes, the bolos, just like uh, the amount of cakes that are involved in Brazilian, celebrations, and any excuse to make a cake is like there's
Sure.
a cake showing up, which I love. They're amazing.
That's true. Absolutely.
Ology Senora.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Cool. Pretty nice. I forgot to ask, is there a Brazilian community in Connecticut? Because there's a Brazilian community pretty much anywhere in the world.
Yeah, there's a big one in Connecticut. Bridgeport is a town that has a lot of Brazilian people. It's I don't know, near New Haven, if anyone knows Connecticut who's listening to this. And then, you know, New York has quite a few. I'm kind of like an hour outside of New York, so there's quite a few there as well.
Have you met any of them?
Yeah, I've gone to a few like Brazilian parties and things through like my girlfriend's family, and everyone's been very friendly and welcoming. I even stopped in a couple Brazilian stores and tried to speak a little Portuguese, and this was when I was first starting to learn too, and they were very kind and supportive and everything.
Yeah, pretty cool. That's true. As I said, whenever we see someone trying to speak Portuguese, we're just trying to push them forward, you know.
Yeah,
pretty
definitely.
Good. Now, speaking of the language, what's your favorite word in Portuguese?
Well, I like, well, there's a few. I like that you have a word for like running fingers through someone's hair. Cafune?
Right.
Cafune?
Right.
Cafune?
Cafune.
Yeah.
That's right.
Cafune. Yeah. I think that's a really specific thing. It's like one of those like German words you hear for like a very specific thing. And it's like, I think that's cool. And saudades, like the actual feeling of missing someone, I think that's cool to like put a word to that. You know, we don't have that. So I like learning words that we don't have in English, and those are two that come to mind.
And saudade is one of those words that doesn't have a translation to any language as far as I know.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a Portuguese word as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of my favorites too, because of that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you listen to Brazilian music?
Yeah, there's I have a Brazilian playlist on Spotify. I can't only think of some of the names that like the Tribalistas. Is that
right?
Yeah.
Right.
And okay, I always mess up their name. A banda mais bonita da cidade.
That's a quite long name, right? Yeah, that's perfect though.
Yeah, I like them too.
Cool. So you're more into, let's say, calm music, relaxing music in a way.
Yeah, I like that, but also the classics. I can't. It's just my girlfriend made it for me, so I can't think of the names. I just kind of hit play and let it run.
All right, that's cool. Do you have a favorite song, a favorite band, maybe a group?
I like that song "Corazón" by, I think it's is it Oração by a banda mais Oração? Yeah.
Oh, that thing went viral like a couple of years back in Brazil, and everybody knew the song.
Yeah,
because it's like
I'm probably late on it, but
yeah,
it's nice.
They just played it like 30-second loop, like 10 times around. That's the song.
Pretty much, yeah. It's very like it sticks in your head when you listen to it for like days.
It does, but in a bad way, I'd say. But yeah, it's a pretty cool song.
Yeah. Interested in your story a little. You are Brazilian, right?
Yeah, sure.
Right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. And you live somewhere else? Did I have that right?
I live in Turkey, yeah, in Istanbul.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Wow, that's quite a change.
It was.
Yeah. How long have you been in Istanbul?
I've been here for over 3 years, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I actually came here to teach English, and now I teach Portuguese. So it was quite a change in my life too.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. I never expected to teach Portuguese like ever.
Yeah.
But now here I am.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. I like it. And you know, once you start actually teaching the language, you start understanding it better. So there were things in Portuguese I never thought about, but now I completely understand.
Yeah. I found the same with English too. When you have to explain something, you're like, oh, wait, why do we say that? And it's like you never think about it when it's just your daily speaking.
Yeah, when you have to think about the ifs and whys. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any questions you would like to ask our viewers?
Well, I love to hear what people are cooking, especially now during quarantine.
Right.
So
So
I love to hear what you're cooking or what you would like to cook, you know?
yeah. Sure. So you guys tell him what he likes, what he want him to cook, and he will like make a video on it, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm definitely really open to suggestions.
Pretty cool. And yes, especially in these days, during the quarantine, I guess people are spending too much time at home, and you have a lot of time for cooking. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not a great cook myself, but I'm trying my best. So yeah,
Nice. Nice.
maybe I could just I don't know, learn a lesson or two from you. So I'll keep following your channel. I'll watch the recipes.
Great. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
pretty good. So yeah, if you guys are interested, you can just follow them. You can just I'll leave his social media right down below. You have an Instagram account, YouTube channel, any other social media?
Yeah, I would say just follow at Cozinha Gringo on Instagram, and also subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to get the YouTube channel growing, at Cozinha, or it's just search Cozinha Gringo on YouTube.
Yeah, you can see it right here, right below his picture, actually, right there.
Nice, nice. And I'd love to hear from you. If you can comment on Instagram, comment on YouTube. If you love to see anything in the videos, if you have any suggestions. And also for those learning Portuguese, I'm still learning a lot myself. I'm still pretty basic, so you can learn along with me. Sometimes I think that helps to see someone else learning and see progress and realize that, oh, they're mispronouncing something the same as me, and it's not just me. So that sometimes helps me too. So hopefully that can help others. But
Yeah,
yeah,
sure. It's that sense of like not being alone, I guess. Having someone to like follow the path with you, it's much better. Sure, definitely.
exactly,
Cool.
exactly.
And I have a question actually about your channel. Do you have a concept, or you just cook whatever comes to your mind? How do you plan the recipes?
Uh, well, now it's kind of like, what do we have on hand? Because the trips to the grocery store are definitely minimized. But
Sure.
um, I, I'm not like one specific type of cuisine or anything. I just cook. I try to keep it like kind of something that you could make at home without too much effort, nothing super fancy or gourmet or anything like that. Um, and just food that I like to eat, to be honest.
All right.
Food that I like to eat and cook, and I want to share with others.
Okay. Pretty cool. So, guys, that was John Mitch, as also known as Cozinha Gringo. So, if you guys are interested, yeah, follow his channel on YouTube, his Instagram page right here. He makes weekly recipes. Am I right?
Yeah, weekly. Yep.
Okay, cool. Weekly recipes on delicious food, and he speaks only Portuguese in the videos. So, yeah, if you guys are interested, go check him out. And now we're gonna have to say goodbye to each other. It was a pleasant conversation. It was pretty good to meet you, John.
It's nice to meet you too.
Yeah, and I hope we can do this again. The next time in Portuguese, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be practicing.
All right, cool. Pretty good. So, John, it was a pleasure, and I'll see you again. You want to say something to the viewers, something else?
Uh, Bye. Thanks for watching, and check out the channel, and definitely leave a comment and introduce yourself and give some suggestions on what to cook.
Pretty good. Então, tchau e até a próxima, galera. Tchau, tchau, John.
Tchau.
Tchau.
Até.
Até mais.
Até mais.